How's it going today, guys? Custodial Trading coming to you with another nPOC and daily POC update video. It is Wednesday, and as part of our weekly video series, guys, we like to just go over nPOC levels. So we're going to talk about what nPOC levels we're looking at and why. The ones that we're going to be focused on the most going forward are going to be 107,877, and then also down here at 99,492, right? So that's kind of where we're going to create setups based off of, just because they're within local range. Now, we did end up closing 104,802. Now, what does that mean? Well, this was technically a short area, right? So this whole area of previous all-time highs is an area that is a resistance. So that's not ideally where we want to look for longs. You know, the longs that we were looking for, guys, were all the way back here in the low 80K, high 70K, depending on when you've been following along. You know, we've really been long heavy from down here. So that's kind of why I haven't really been longing BTC and Ethereum much, just because they are a little bit overextended. If you know me and you've been around, you like to know that I like to buy on red days and kind of like to sell into green days, that sort of thing. But we have talked about market environment. You need to be up to date on market environment, because if market environment is a bull trend that isn't giving much pullbacks to where you do kind of have to buy in strength, then, you know, my strategy and what I like to do, I will be a little bit more uncomfortable buying into green days. But if that's what markets are telling us, as far as we continue to see more upside and we're just not getting those dips that we normally like to buy, then we have to kind of change our trading style a little bit, right? And that just kind of happens, kind of being like flowing with water a little bit as far as market conditions. But as of right now, the long still stays the same for me on BTC. Like, I am not really interested in anything above 100,000 on Bitcoin, right? Like, I want to see a retest of lower, and that kind of does line up with that 99,492 nPOC level. So that would be, you know, kind of where I want to be longing next. But the strength is still there. BTC, Ethereum still being resilient. A lot of altcoins still being resilient, even though there's a tiny bit of downside. Everything is still holding those local highs that we've kind of ran up to. And then again, you know, if we do continue to drop lower, which I really don't think happens, but we do have a cluster of nPOCs down here at the low 90K and then like the low 80K, and those are both long setups as well. If we get those retests again, do we get those retests? I don't think so. I think a lot of people are sidelined. I think a lot of people wish that they were longing the low 80K and the high 70K area, but we're just not going to get that lucky. We already had 2 months to kind of be filling your bags or, you know, kind of buying some of the discounted prices on BTC. Then again, if you want to be more short biased, you could look to kind of be shorting this nPOC print right here at about that 107,877. So that would be our next short entry. Again, I don't think I'll take it. You know, I've kind of been pretty transparent with you guys on that. I have not really been taking shorts. I just don't think the risk reward is there for shorting, and my main focus is still just kind of longing, that sort of thing. I think Ethereum does offer some pretty good, you know, prints and setups as far as nPOC levels go. We did kind of close that 2,652, and again, if you guys been following me, this is kind of the setup that we wanted, right? To kind of be trading within this range, and then we can kind of build that support for our next move higher, and then our next move higher into nPOC prints is going to be that 2,963. Now, plan does stay the same for me, guys. All dips are really meant for buying, and so that's kind of what I'm going to go forward with. You know, again, the same long is still there, to where if we retest that 2,408, I would be longing Ethereum. That's where I would be longing Ethereum next. Now, I still think buying Ethereum here at 2,600 is a really, really fucking good discount, that down the road, when Ethereum's testing 4K, breaking those all-time highs, which I still think happens, these are going to be great buys, because I still think that buying ETH here is at a discount. You may not be in profit right away, but I think overall down the road, it will bode well as far as entering within this area. You know, Ethereum had some really good areas to kind of be entering in down here. As you guys know, we were long below 2,000. We were looking to long all of these nPOC prints down within this. And again, you know, maybe we longed a little too early, but we did trade it really, really well. So not too much has changed as far as nPOC prints go. This one has obviously closed, but that's where we continue to trade within, right? Once we close this nPOC print, we'll see where today's print is. Print could happen somewhere in here, right? And maybe price elevates up. We're kind of still within that range, and then maybe we retest and then can kind of chop before that next leg higher. Again, wishful thinking that we get lower prices. Obviously, I'd like to be bidding lower, but a continued move higher still would probably be catching a lot of people off guard. I hope this can really help you for this next couple of months going forward. I do my best to kind of keep you guys grounded each and every day when we get up to the desk and arrive and kind of start looking at charts and all that sort of stuff. I kind of just give you an in-depth on what I'm thinking each and every day. But yeah, I appreciate you guys joining, and I'll see you over in the Telegram. Peace out.